to the channel. So in this video, I want to do a quick update on gold. Previously, I mentioned that gold was at demand and you had to be a bit more careful if you want to go short. And true enough, price really found support here at the demand zone and is now starting to rally. Now that brings me to the question for today, which is this a retracement for price to go higher before selling down, or is this a scheme that big institutional players are using? Are they dumping price just into this level so that they can shake retail traders out? Retail traders like you and I, so that they can accumulate at the low prices. Now, if you were to look in the weekly chart, it should be quite evident that this is looking like a inverted head and shoulders pattern. So let me just draw it for you. Right here is the left shoulder, over here is the head, and right now what we are seeing is the potential right shoulder. Now, in fact, if you were to look at the price action for this week, which is this candle right here, you can see that this week is still bullish. Price hasn't managed to trade below this as of right now. Of course, at one point in time, price did trade below the low, but you can see that if I were to mark out the low right here, just let me draw this right here and switch over to the daily, you can see that this low hasn't been violated. We haven't seen any close below this, at least on the daily chart. So this level is still holding and this entire demand zone is still holding. So this is the first thing that you have to be careful. Now the second thing that I want you to pay attention to is this descending trend line, which I've previously talked about. Just connect this high and you will see that there is going to be potential resistance here. Now, one thing I think I didn't mention previously was that this is actually supply, because previously when I did this analysis, I believe it was somewhere here and this candle hasn't closed. But right now this candle has closed and we have gotten a few more candles. This zone right here is supply zone. So there is a potential that price might spike this level and then start selling down again. Now, between the two, whether I think this is a retracement or whether this is a full-on reversal, meaning to say that this movement down is just a play by big institutional players to accumulate here, right at the demand zone or at the support zone before, price starts going all the way up. Between the two, I think that this is actually pretty bullish. So I want you to focus your attention onto this candle right over here. Okay, just look at the price action. You have a big bearish candle, and instead of selling down, which I mentioned about, I said you want to be careful after a big movement down like that. It's very unlikely you get another big sell down. So we got a doji candle right here. So a doji candle represents indecision, which shows that the market is consolidating. After that, we got this candle, which is looking a bit like a bullish candle, bullish engulfing candle with a bit of a fake out play right here, because it at one point in time it traded below but it closed here. Okay, this is something like bullish engulfing, but there is no confirmation of price closing above the high of this doji candle. However, yesterday what we got was that we get a candle right here that closes here. Let me just mark it out. It closes here, which is pretty high. Okay, it closed above this high and this high. So this entire movement up doesn't look like a retracement to me. There seems to be strength in this movement up. Now that leads me to believe that this entire movement down is just a dump. Okay, it's just a dump for big institutional players to accumulate their positions lower. They are already in their long position. Now, if you were to look in the H4, what you can see is that you have a rally and then a bit of a consolidation, and you have another rally, and right now price seems to be doing another rally up. So the price action right now is very bullish. I want you to be very careful if you are trading gold. Do not go short immediately just because this is resistance. Previously I mentioned that this is resistance because this is the neckline. This is a very strong level. However, the price action right now is bullish. So if you want to go short, this is what I recommend that you do. Switch over to the H4 chart. I recommend that you use this trend line as a guide. Okay, let me just clear the levels so that it's clearer. This is what I recommend you do. Connect this swing low to this swing low and you will have a trend line, something like this. Okay, so this trend line will be your guide that the trend is changing. So if price does something like this, and it starts going up, and it starts retracing, and it doesn't break the trend line, it keeps going up, then you probably want to abandon your shorts, because this entire movement up is very bullish. As I mentioned, you have to be patient and wait for the trend to change. Okay, maybe something like this, price goes up higher and it breaks the trend line, and then what you can do is that you can try to go in on a retracement. So in this case, it will look something like a head and shoulders pattern. You have the left shoulder here, you have the head here, and you have the right shoulder. This is how I recommend you trade it, but between the two, I prefer to go long, but not at this price right now because price is very high. So if you really want to go long, let's talk about where you can go long. Okay, let me just clear all this so it's clearer. Now, if you want to go long, what I recommend is that you either wait for price to break above this entire zone, because there is potential resistance here and this is supply. Wait for price to break above and then look for the retracement back down. Okay, it might take some time, it might not happen this week, but this is how I recommend you trade the long if you really want to buy. Another way you can do is you can look at this potential level, which previously was resistance, look for it to be supported. However, if price were to come here, you have to be careful and watch for the trend line that I mentioned, because there might be a possibility that price comes to this level and the trend line breaks. So you have to be very careful. You want to be very patient. Okay, so this is not easy to trade. I don't recommend that you focus on trading this. Right now, the market's not easy to trade because we have a lot of news this week. Do me a small favor and hit the thumbs up button if you have not already done so. If you are new to this channel, do consider subscribing, because I have many trading videos on this channel to help you become a better trader. I also do other price action analysis on other currency pairs or even cryptocurrencies to help you make good decisions as you trade the markets. Now, I've prepared a day trading guide for you, which you can grab. It's totally free. Right here, I have the 3-day trading guide. It teaches you the MPE trading strategy that works for pretty much everything. It works on a daily time frame. So if you're still struggling, just head over to the link in the description down below. It will take you to a page that looks something like this. Just input your email and we'll email it to you. No credit cards required, but please use a legit email, because you have to receive the email in order to download it. So if you put in a fake email or email that you don't use, then you will not receive the PDF. Okay? If not, thanks for watching. Really appreciate you. If you have any other questions, please let me know in the comment section down below.